Hi everyone. So today I'm joined by the YouTuber Irish Fenian Make Ireland Grand Again. He's an old timer, I think. He's been on YouTube as pretty much the same time I've been on it. Would you agree? You'd say you're an old timer at this stage?
How are you doing, everyone? God, old timer, Jesus, you're really making me feel old here now. Well, I suppose old timer as in the sense, yeah, I could see this happening years ago, you know, what was going to come down the line, I suppose. I really started out, I think it was back in 2018. Now, I already knew about things before this, but there was a lot of us, it was the Global Compact Agreement, I think, to make migration a human right. And loads of us turned out, and that was when it really started. And, you know, I think it was the Irexit Party, it's now the Irish Freedom Party at the time, that, like, they were holding a rally for it, and, you know, allowed, actually, I think it was probably about 100 to 150, and then I think there was the other crowd that came out to counter protesters, you know, calling us far right, and that. I think they couldn't even muster up 50, like, so that was even going back at that time. You know, it's a lot different now. There's loads of people, you know, and doing things, and they're recording things, which is all the better because we're seeing more of it now. Although it can be a bit of a downer looking at it all the time. That's why I do. You know, you know, a lot of the times I just leave the phone there and I don't even look at it. You know.
You were probably like around the time of Critiqued was pretty much the first guy I seen, and Gran Torino, and there was Irish Megaphone was on, and there was the guy from Donegal that we
the famous martyr that doesn't have to die to become a martyr.
so you were you were on the fringes as well, and you're probably like me now. You've been on it so long that now is the time you're kind of sick of it all, and we just step back a little and observe. Maybe you're at that stage, I guess, like myself.
Yeah.
You do a lot of movie reviews with my good friend Betwixt as well.
Betwixt is a character. He is, you know. Well, I mean, he's very he does very thought-provoking videos, you know, like very serious videos. You know, he really makes you think about things. He's great at doing analogies, you know, like, you know, saying something about this and then, like, you know, putting it with this and saying, like, oh, putting it into real life. He's very good at doing that, and he's also good at, you know, doing a bit of satire as well. I'll just leave it there.
He has a few aliases, I think. What was I going to say? You just do a bit of DJing as well, I see from some of your earlier videos.
I did, yeah. I was actually on the last dance radio station, I think, ever in Ireland. And when I mean that, I mean like pirate radio. Like I was never, you know, RTE or, you know, news talk or anything like that. But no, that was one of the big things during the 90s and the 2000s was pirate radio. But that station closed down in 2017, and then I suppose from 2018 onwards I wasn't doing much, and then, like, that's when all these rallies started happening. And I was going up and I was recording them, and I was, you know, like, I was just like, they were talking what I was interested in, and, you know, like, about the immigration, like, we're taking too many in, you know, about like the whole system's broke, you know, Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael are always in government. I mean, like, do the bastards ever get out, like, you know? But and then like at the same time though, I was never a member like of like these parties, but you know, I'd get lumped in, you know, I'd get called, oh, you're a Nazi scumbag, you're far right, you're literally Hitler. That was another one. You are literally, and the word literally gets used too fucking often. I don't even think that you know what it, you know, like when to use it, but you're literally Hitler.
Yeah. Do you still have your decks? Do you still play a bit, or?
I do, but they're not set up. If I was to do it now, I'd need a new amp, speakers. I still have the deck, so like they're there. They were only serviced even before I put them away, so you know all the pitches were tightened on them and everything. And then you know what else would I need? Would you need? It sounds like I'm getting the begging bowl out. I'm not looking for money now.
links in the box below. Yeah.
And a new mixer as well, and probably needles.
Oh, here we
you know,
go. Here we go.
And not them type of needles, deck needles.
Yeah, contributions are welcomed, of course. Yeah.
So you know what? If we go out and I find a half ton of missing mackerel, will people do it then? Will they?
There'll be a bag of potatoes on its way to you in the morning.
A bag of spuds and a few onions, a nice onion sandwich for you. And I mean, like, what were you supposed to make with it? Because I mean, it was potatoes, it was onions, it was lentils. I've never even eaten lentils. What are they?
Yeah.
But like, what were you supposed to make with them other than a bloody onion sandwich and a potato on the side? You could do a film on that, you know, what happened to the missing half ton of mackerel.
They're still looking, they're still searching for that.
You could do a Sherlock Holmes, you know, team around that.
Yeah, an orange man knocking on my door tomorrow morning. Yeah. I live in the middle of nowhere.
Good reverend, knocking on the door, yeah.
I live in the middle of nowhere anyway, so you'd be doing well to find me, you know. Yeah, Polish vodka, it's very good.
God, you and the vodka, my God! You know, everyone was telling me I go on a mad one when I'm on the spirits. So I said I'd and I have been drinking spirits lately because it's so bloody cold and I'm trying to you know heat myself up a bit because I find that it warms you up. But I said no for tonight. I'll just have you know a couple of cans. I said.
Well, I think with the cans you drink more if you're drinking cans, and it gives you worse hangover. I think if you're just because if you mix the vodka with lemonade or something, it kind of lasts longer.
And you don't need as much, and it's cheaper.
Yeah, and the price of drink these days, Christ Almighty, like
it's ridiculous. It really is.
It's worse than Switzerland. You know, you can get a can of beer in Switzerland for 50 cents. Yeah, and it's okay, it's supermarket beer, but it's not bad. It's lager. So 50 cents in Switzerland.
Is that like that kind of like special brew stuff like?
No, it'd be just like a regular pissy lager. It'd be like Budweiser or something, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean 50 cents, you get 10 of them.
But you know what? It's crazy over here. Like, say if you were to get like the made the cans smaller, some of them. But like if you like, I'm drinking Bulmers here now because I do something like you know the cider. Well, it's getting a bit cold for cider, but anyway. But if you go into a shop right and buy 8 cans, that's like 18 quid.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like no way could you buy that every day and like you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Too much.
That's one way to stop alcoholism, isn't it?
or maybe put people onto drugs. It's cheaper nearly, you know. So would you call yourself a true blue dub? Would I be right or wrong?
Yeah, true blue dub. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'll call myself. Yeah, I'm definitely. I'm born and bred in Dublin. Family was born and bred in Dublin.
Okay.
Like my parents, my grandparents, my great grandparents.
So
you know,
real Jacqueline, yeah.
Yeah. But no, not the sort of Jack Ian that would have been, outside the GPO back in 1916 waving Union Jacks. No.
Yeah, I'm joking. I'm joking. You could call me a culty bugger or whatever. You. So then with the Dublin riots, what was it like on the night of the riot, or what was it like? What were you
Well,
thinking of?
I wasn't actually in it. Do you know what? I'll be honest. I didn't hear about the riots until the following day, and why I didn't hear about it is because I left my phone there, and I said because I do, as we were talking earlier on, there's so much stuff, and I do just say, leave it there, and there was nothing at all that I heard all day about any stabbings, about anything at all. But when I seen the following day, I just looked up, and the phone was lit up, with all these, the riots and that. And I was saying, but wait, hold on, what happened? And then I heard about the stabbings, and they said, so that was the secondary reaction, I said, But like the papers were just full of all this, far right hooligans, in riots and doing this, and they're the biggest threat to us and all. And I'm like, God, you're having a clue. I'm like, you're so, well, they're not stupid. They're trying to put people down the wrong path. You know what I mean? And blame jurors. Like, this goes to show you, and like you mentioned when you were talking about like a few things that we would talk about. You were saying about a class war. Well, it is a class war, because I'll tell you this now. I was in a pharmacy there the other week, right? And I was just like kind of laying a bit of a trap as I do with people. And I just said, I said, that was nasty business. I said the other week, wasn't it? And straight away, everyone said, oh, do you mean the riots? And I says, what? The riots? I says, no, the poor babbies that were stabbed. I says, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And then one of them, of course, they have to stick up for the other. They won't stick up for their own, because these are middle to upper class people, They will not stick up for their own. One of them said, it was good that Brazilian chap was there, wasn't it? And, that's it. And I was like, here we go. So I said, two rounds make a right. And was it like two foreigners? I said, yeah. You know what I mean? But then,
I mean, it's a nonsense argument. There's good there's good immigrants, but there's also bad immigrants that will slash kids' throats. So it's like a roundabout argument. It doesn't make any sense.
And it seems like that there's more of them than there is the good ones. So like what's going on? But then I was in getting me head shaved there only the other day, and I said the same thing to the chap doing it. I said, geez, that was terrible business there the other week. And he straight away says, yeah, them poor babies, he said.
Yeah.
So like that goes to show you, like he's not middle class, upper class. Yeah. He's just in a barber's and trying to get by.
What would you say is the real mood amongst the ordinary people of Dublin, like in the working class areas? Would you say it's like that, or is it's like what the media portrays, that they're all?
Certainly is not what the media portrays. Like, I mean, they done a poll there, didn't they? And they said that 75% think that they've taken in too many migrants. So I mean, are 75% of the country far right?
Yeah.
Like.
There is a sense of anger and mistrust then in these communities.
Yeah, I'm actually worrying at the moment, because my next door neighbours are actually after opening and selling up, because they've been moving them in very slowly into my area, and you only have to walk out and notice it. Like you could walk past 10 people before you see an Irish person. So it's like it's right in front of you. Like, but they're selling up next door, and I'm like, and I see a sale agreed sign, and I'm like, please, anybody but the new to the parish, new as they say, new Irish, but I don't call them that. But I said anybody but them.
What would you say to someone who said that's far right thinking, that you don't want an immigrant moving in beside you?
I wouldn't give a shit. I said, listen, I don't care. I don't want them. And start. But I said, like, I don't want to walk out one day and then be stabbed in the neck, and then just be another statistic.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
You know,
I mean,
why are you even putting me in this dangerous situation in the first place? Like, you know?
yeah. Well, it's unvetted, isn't it? It's all unvetted. You don't know who your neighbors are these days. Like,
Michael Graham wants to ask a question now.
No, first of all, I want to know, where are these people coming from?
Nobody knows. Somebody knows up there, but we don't know here.
Should have
Nobody
no
knows
passports
about
either.
that.
Coming from wherever it is either.
yeah. Yeah, that's what I would have figured that ordinary people didn't. Ordinary people know the score. I think. I think we know. We're seeing it. We're seeing it in reality, not what we're being told on the TV or whatever. So you. I know as you've mentioned, and I've seen you went to a lot of the protests, especially the earlier ones. Maybe you don't go to so many protests now, but have you noticed a difference in the actual protests down through the years when you first started, and then the last few years?
Yeah, well, it was kind of a bit naive when we all first started, because it was people that came together, but we soon realised that we came from different backgrounds, sort of stuff.
So have you seen a change then in the mood, the actual mood? I mean, I would imagine that's what it's like.
You've seen from the riots, like, I mean, that wouldn't have happened back in when I started it, like,
So, yeah.
we were very small, like, in comparison, but now it's like.
Did you go to
Sorry?
some COVID protests? Did you go to any protests for COVID?
Yeah, I did, and I met loads of people that, like, had, for the want of a better word, but the buyer's remorse, like they had they were raging that they actually got one or two, like they wished that they hadn't got any at all, but they were all saying the same thing. Oh, I was threatened with my job. They were coerced, and coercion is illegal as far as I know, but that's what happens, and
Okay.
like and that one, actually, that protest, thousands showed up. Like, I mean, if I was to estimate it, I'd say there was probably about maybe, I don't know, 6,000 to 8,000.
Is that the
But
big
the media
COVID?
then said that there was a few hundred.
That was the big COVID one, wasn't it? You're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was good. What's the attitudes to Sinn Féin then in the working class parts of Dublin? What would be the attitude to Sinn Féin? Because that's where most of their supporters traditionally are. So.
And yeah, well, I'd say Dublin and Limerick are the big supporters, I'd say.
I'd imagine that Sinn Féin, they won't, like, they're taking it for granted that they're going to get a lot of votes from these areas, but I would say they find it tough enough. I'd say a lot of people know that Sinn Féin are going to sell out or have sold out, so I wouldn't think that they'd do as well as they expect. Did you see
that recent photo of Mary Lou, and she's dressed in the what's it, that burqa thing, and the regio?
Yeah, well, all things to everyone.
Like, I mean, like, what's got, like, I thought these, like, Sinn Féin were staunch Catholics, like, Well,
maybe 1950s, maybe. So what are you feeling? What are you sensing then from Dublin? Is Sinn Féin just a bust party? People are not going to vote for them, are they?
Well, I've talked to a lot of people when I went to rallies, and they were always of the, like, they'd say, oh, my family voted Sinn Féin all their lives. I voted Sinn Féin all my life, but I tell you, not again. So, like, they are losing voters.
I would imagine. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't get into government. I think the next government is going to be Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, Social Democrats, Labour, Greens. It's going to be a rainbow of everybody except Sinn Féin. So
yeah, because do you want to work with the Shinners because of the war up in the occupied 6 counties.
So it's going to be more of the same, but it'll be more of the same even if you vote for Sinn Féin anyway. So, but it might be more beneficial if Sinn Féin were out of government, because then the people who would vote for Sinn Féin will say, well, that was a waste of time sticking with Sinn Féin. They did nothing for 5 years or whatever. So let's look for alternatives, So what's it like in Dublin now? With like, is it like a ghost town at night because people are afraid to go out, or?
Well, I mean, It is compared to what I grew up with. Like everyone just stays in. And I have a feeling that like the scamdemic played a big part in that. Like, everyone still is like, oh, stay at home kind of thing. Like, and then like you do even go into some places these days and they still have the bloody signs out, oh, keep your distance and all this. And, and there's still people wearing masks to this day. I just, it baffles me, it does. Like, why they're doing it. Like, are they doing it because, they still believe in it, or are they doing it because they won't admit that they were taken in for a sucker, they were taken in on a lie, like.
Yeah, I tend to stare at them when they have a mask, but stare at the mask, which kind of freaks them out. You're not staring at.
I'd be always kind of like, if I'm with someone on, I would there's a very sick person there. So watch out,
Or yeah, keep away. They have COVID.
Yeah. Did you see Pierce Morgan got his 8th booster, and there was a picture of him in hospital with the thing up his nose and all, but he's not actually and because he got COVID again, he said, but he's not actually blaming the boosters or that. He's blaming the people that wouldn't take it.
Even again.
Yeah. I only seen that recently.
Did you see Andrew Tate? Andrew Tate gave him a good talking to about the COVID and the vaccines.
No, I didn't see that one. No.
It's worth looking at just for the vaccines and everything, because he Andrew Tate made a good point. He said just use logic, just use simple logic. Do you think that the politicians, they have two choices? With the height of the lockdowns, all the politicians in England had a big party in Downing Street and were drinking and partying all into the night when the rest of the country was on lockdown. So do you think that the politicians just got very brave and said, look, we're going to die, let's have a big party before we die or get COVID, and just throw out the rules and just live life to the full? Or, which is more likely, it was just a load of bullshit and they're laughing at the people. So which is more logical,
Well, I'd say the latter there. Yeah, it was a lot of bullshit. They knew that was a lot of bullshit, and I can understand like people's anger, like, because I do look at, see the way they're hounding your man Boris Johnson in England because of the party that he had, and like normally like I'd be like, that's so bloody what, but like because everyone was locked down. And they were there living it up, yeah. And then they were like, getting paid. They were like, threatening people to get this job. And then like, they're having parties while they're locking people down.
Yeah.
So I can understand those people being angry at them.
Oh yeah, a bit angry. But you'd have more respect for Johnson if he just said, "Hey, look, it was a load of bollocks and I had a good time." Rather than
I did a jolly good time. Oh, yes,
oh, you were actually taking me seriously? Wow. And it's funny that RT were mad about the Boris Johnson. They're reporting it again and again and again, but they never mentioned. Sure, the RT had a big party as well, didn't they?
Yeah, I think it was. Was it the Clifton Hotel or something?
Yes. So they're all like Claire Byrne is in her element every day. She's going
and she's not only in her element, she's in her shed as well.
so it's like, they love throwing shit at the English, but they were just as bad, in Ireland, and they're hoping we forget about that. But so all that COVID bullshit. So, what do you think about the hate speech laws that are going to come our way? Will we be joining each other in the gulags in a few months' time? Will we?
Maybe, but I mean, like, my take on these hate speech laws is, I think that it's just going to end up a money scheme. It's just going to be a load of fines. We'll see who pays the first fine out. Will it be the people getting all their big donations? Will they go to prison for their beliefs, or will they pay it? Like they will probably at first to like they'll probably throw a couple of people in jail, but that's just to get people in line.
Yeah, they always get they always get the low hanging fruit. Some head the balls first. Some
Yeah,
making
and then like that'll get people in line, and then it'll just become a thing where, like, all right, 100 quid fine, 100 quid fine, and that, and it'll just end up a Ponzi scheme, and then that's it. But I don't know, like, I'd be the kind of one, like, if, like, I mean, but they're obviously breaking, like, the constitution there, because the coppers aren't allowed to enter your home without a warrant, like, so
yeah.
I don't know what they're doing here.
Well, it's a bit scary that a copper can come into your house, take away your laptop and mobile, and if you don't give them your passwords, you get prison time or a fine or something. I mean, that's Stasi Germany. That's communist Russia. Isn't
yeah. and I'm the sort of stubborn fucker that I'd say, no, do you know what? Fuck you.
I wouldn't.
I'd rather go to jail.
I wouldn't give any copper my password, but.
It's like the scamdemic or acting like that. Like the more you tell me to do something, the more I'm just gonna say fuck off.
Yeah. I mean, the way I see this, they can do whatever they want over there, but once it encroaches on me, once it limits my freedom, then it's my problem. And I take my liberty, my freedom of expression very seriously. And if that's been forced to take a vaccine, or that's been forced to give up passwords to my personal internet use or whatever, that's different. That's a different, that they're crossing the Rubicon there, I think,
Yeah.
But it's all for the common good, so,
Oh yeah, it's for the greater good. It's all for your protection, and we're not spying on you, it's all for you, it's for you.
All law, all legislation is about the restriction of freedom. That's exactly what we're doing here, is we are restricting freedom, but we're doing it for the common good. You will see throughout our constitution, yes, you have rights, but they are restricted for the common good. Everything needs to be balanced. And if your views on other people's identities go to make their lives unsafe, insecure, and cause them such deep discomfort that they cannot live in peace, then I believe that it is our job as legislators to restrict those freedoms for the common good.
Yeah, just remember to thoroughly delete all your porn collection. Oh God.
God, I wonder how many people have gay porn on the internet. It all come out far right and no extremist. Has a gay porn on his laptop.
Isn't that what they found with Alex Jones? Didn't they found the Thai ladyboys or something?
Yeah, there was it tranny or something? Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Who hasn't looked at Thai ladyboys on the internet?
Well, it's hard to tell with them because, like, like they look the same, the men and women over there. Like, I don't know.
It's research purposes, I mean.
Yeah, of course, yes, of course.
But the copper that was a whistleblower. What do you call him? Didn't he? They tried to. What was there was an Irish.
Was it the fella that about the penalty points?
Yeah, something like that.
That was Morris McCabe.
Yeah, was it McCabe? Was it? Didn't they take his computer and then didn't they plant child pornography on it, and they tried to pin that on him? You know?
Yeah, do you do these things like if you notice someone that's like speaking out like against the government and they're really having an impact, you'll find oh well like 2 days later he'll be up on some rape charge or something
Yeah.
they always try to discredit them.
Yeah, well, they do with Julian Assange as well, didn't they? They made out he was
Yeah.
rapist and.
They try to make something out like that with him as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I wouldn't trust them an inch. I wouldn't trust them at all. But so you don't think you don't think it'll work. You just think it's bullshit. Then
I mean, it'll only work. Well, as I said, they can't knock everyone up in the country. So I mean,
there's no room in Mountjoy anymore. It's all full of foreigners.
Yeah, this is it. So I mean, and if 75% of the country is far right, are you gonna lock all them up?
Yeah.
So as I said, it'll just end up being a money scheme, and I'm not sure whether if you were ever in court for that, but these days, even if it's a strikeout, you still have to pay 100 quid. But they say, oh, it's for charity. But they don't take it. There's no bank machines in there. They only accept cash only in the courts. That's weird, isn't it?
Well, I was thinking as what you said, if they did it, it'd be a huge amount of people going, and I'd say there'd be massive people just purposely trying to see how this would work, and and the prisons would be full. But I was thinking with the 1916 and Michael Collins and all those boys, when they were sent to prison, they used their time in prison to become stronger, didn't they? They taught each other how to resist, and they learned the tricks of the trade of rebellion, So actually, it could backfire on them. If they put a load of young fellas in prison, they could come out even stronger,
stronger and even more emboldened, and then really have a reason to get back at the state then, because you're after imprisoning me for fuck off, and so I'm definitely going to get you now. So that could, as you say, backfire on them very nasty.
It's because we have the truth on our side, we have the righteous fight, we have more determination, and they don't realize that. With the COVID, they tried to slur us and put us down and treat us as second-class citizens, and it didn't work. We're still around, and so they can try their hardest.
Yeah, and they were using what's that Donnelly fella? He jumped ship from the technical group. I think he's in Fianna Fáil or whatever, just for the money or whatever. But he there was a headline one day on a paper, and he says, and it just had Minister declares war on the unvaxxed.
Yeah.
This is this kind of that was a very loaded headline. You know what I mean? That's he's declaring war on you. That's a declaration of war then.
Well, that brings me into my second point. What we were talking about, class war, and they call ordinary people scumbags. I mean that does my note.
Or do you say there aren't those, and they're what's the story?
Get a job, they say. Get a job.
Yeah.
But it's just it's belittling people with real problems and real issues, and the people they don't even attempt to understand.
I know, I think it's the way George Orwell's Big Brother is, that they're trying to get rid of the middle class, and as I said, the people that and I think a lot of the middle class know this, and then if they can't move up to the upper class, they certainly don't want to be with the working class, and we'll obviously then, everyone's going to jump down the peg except for the upper class, Well,
we're the only class that fights back, the working class, so they can, because we're at the bottom anyway. We're at we've nothing to lose really, so try their hardest. I was just reading, I'm sure you've seen Keith Barry's tweet, the fucking chancer, that magician fella, that guy. This is a tweet by, he's one of these dickheads that are. He's one of these pets of RTE or whatever. So he said. So today I was served my lunch by an immigrant, my coffee by an immigrant. I met a concierge in a hotel who was an immigrant, and had 3 hard-working immigrant lads in my house, putting in wardrobes and a new kitchen. They're all amazing and lovely people, as well as hard workers. So basically, he's saying he loves the immigrants because they're slave labor, basically. But the point I'm trying to make is that these middle class twats, 20 years ago, take out the immigrant, and they were talking like ordinary Irish people like that. So it's 20 years ago, he would have said, I had some guy from the north side of Dublin make my coffee. I had some lads from the north side putting in wardrobes. They're all amazing. So it's just patronizing, you know. So they used to do it with ordinary Irish people years ago, and now they have the new pets, you know, the immigrant population. So it's just class. It's just class war, really. It's like they don't care about the immigrants. They just want to use them as cheap labor.
As you said, treating them like pets. Yeah, that's all they are. They don't care about them. And one thing that I hate when they say, like, you know, oh, I've plenty of black friends, or I've plenty of gay friends and all that. Well, why'd you never name any then? You know, you just always say that, but you never say, oh, well, I've loads of black friends, like Tyrone lives down there and Darryl lives over. You know, you never say anything like that. Like,
yeah, well, I think Betwixt and what's his name, Pox Populi, they were making a good point that they talk about immigration, but they don't. In reality, they don't really show any interest in their other cultures. They're not learning their language. They're not really learning their culture. They're not traveling to these places. They always go to the Venice or Vienna. You don't see them traveling to Lagos for a holiday or New Delhi. You know, it's always these nice places. They don't try and get to understand these people really. So it's just, you know, political gain and point scoring. So
that's all it is, you know. Like, they don't, and then if you ever look at their Twitter accounts, it'll come up something like, you know, oh, journalists for, you know, the Irish Times or something, or radio, or you know, it's like, I trust you to say something like that, like.
So you were mentioning the ads as well. I have to go with that one as well. So yeah, I mean, without fail, there has to be an African in every ad on TV or on Facebook or whatever. It's quite bizarre. I think a lot of people are picking up on it though, aren't they?
Yeah, well, I mean, they're almost doing it like every second or third ad, like, and I mean, it's like, so people, like, you know, have eyes in their head that they know, like, you know. And like I do even say to people, and like they say, yeah, I know, but like they like won't mention it or something, or, you know, because I mean, a lot of people like me years ago, I was never into politics or that. It was only when it started infringing on me, and when it started, you know, like say I'd call it current affairs. So like when it starts, like the scandemic. It's like, you know, here you're fucking pissing me off now, you know what I mean? Like, so, because I used to be like, fucking whatever, you know, like, because you know, like when you grow up, or you say 20 years ago, you know, when you're in your, you know, late teens, or I don't know, early 20s or whatever, you know, like you didn't care. It was always, you know, what was the thing, you know, so in a pub or a club. No religion or politics talked at the bar, you know. We always had that rule, and like it was a great rule, you know. And you'd have a great night. The music was great, you know, having a few drinks, you know, the ladies and that, and no one was like, you know, oh, you use my proper pronoun now, you know. So, you know,
things were much easier. Things were much
years
easier.
Ago, but like, as I said, now it's infringing on me. It's like I'm having to deal with this shit. So now, you know what I mean? And as I said, ever since the scandemic, that just heightened it, that did, you know, for everyone.
Yeah, I think the COVID thing was a big wake up call for a lot of people, you know. I think that shook people up, like, wait a minute, this country is not what I thought it was. Mm-hmm.
I know, like, because like a lot of people thought, oh well, I have all these rights and all that, like the right to do this and that, but they were all taken away just like that, you know. Boom. So I mean, like, what actual rights do you have then? You know, if they've been just taken away like that.
I just want to make a point with the ads again. Sorry, because what does my head in? It's not based in reality. Because, like, for example, I think there was one gambling company, and they had a black fella gambling in the bookies. And, like, I don't know what's like in Dublin, but I've never seen a black man in the bookies in Ireland. Never, you know.
Do you know what? They're actually too poor to put it down.
I've seen plenty of Chinese, you know. So, but I did a video on Rockshore as well. I made a video, and it was like, there wasn't one black person in the pub. It wasn't two. It wasn't three. It wasn't four. It was 6 or 7 or 8 black people in the pub. What kind of pub is this? Where is this pub? Is there a pub like that in Ireland?
You know, like I don't go to the pub much these days, but anytime that I do, like I never see like black people at the bar and, you know, drinking away, and, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem if it was reality, but it's not reality.
Yeah.
You know.
You know, like I am saying, and I do always hate this, because like everyone does stay away from each other, when, like, even like family just stay away from each other when it comes to, you know, Christmas and that. But there was a Christmas ad there, and then there's a white chap, and he goes over and he sits down on the couch, and then there's an Indian beside him, and then there's black people in the background, and it's like, you know, oh, we're all getting on and all this kind of way, and I'm like, no, everyone like sticks to themselves. Like, no, I like, as I said, going back to that thing before, when like people are like, oh, I'm not racist or anything, I've loads of black mates and all that, but you can't bloody name one.
With relation to the ads, like why it is a kind of racist as well, because they have no Chinese men in these ads. There's no Roma gypsies, there's no travelers, there's no Pakistanis.
You would think that, like, you know, like the way, you know, you would obviously, like me, remember the 90s, like, you know, for the country like Ireland, like, you know, you have a lot of Irish people in ads, because that's, you know, the main that's the main audience of the country, you know, is Irish, like Irish people. You know, but like they're shoving all this in people's face, and as people that like stay away from, you know, that whole political thing, they're even getting annoyed at it now. They're saying, Jesus Christ, every bloody ad, all I'm saying is this.
The thing, like they always say, like diversity works and integration works, etc., etc. But if it works, then why did they have to aggressively push it all the time? Because if it was so great, it would be self-evident, you know. You wouldn't have to keep telling us how great it is. We would see it. But
it'd be like the natural order. It'd work itself out, but it's not like that, though.
Well, just go to Paris or London or, I don't know, San Francisco or wherever.
Or 2 weeks ago over here, like, you know,
you know.
I mean, like, you know, it's an outrage, and I mean, they always go on about, oh, diversity is our strength and all this kind of way. Says who? Like, who says this? What, the government? And you trust them? You fucking idiot. You know what I mean?
Well, they were making a good. You know who I look at recently? The Lotus Eaters. Do you look at those guys on YouTube? They're English guys.
Yeah, I've watched some of their videos, but sometimes like they do be a bit long, and you might have to do something, and it's like, you know, it goes on for like, I don't know, like half an hour or 20 minutes, or, you know, something. If they were to kind of give maybe more bite-sized things, and then, like, you know, and then when you get a chance to sit down and like watch it, then, you know, properly, like, you know.
Well, they were making a point, like, you know, this argument that, well, it's the slave labor argument. Like, if they all went home tomorrow, then the hospitals would collapse and da would collapse. But the point is, like, if they're talking about the economic benefits, well, how much money has been pumped into immigration for the last few years? It must be billions. I mean, we could have saved all that money. That's the point. That's the point they were making. All the money that's thrown into it, it must be like you could wipe out the debt nearly with all the money, you know.
Yeah. Like, so only recently, I think I seen a headline in the paper, and it says that I don't know which minister it was, but they need another 1.5 billion to keep these migrants going, like, and all this. And I'm like, what are you thinking? Like, you know, but you know, what a lot of people miss out on, because I actually seen there was a video that I seen gone back a few weeks, and there was this chap on it, and he was like, oh, you know, it was somewhere rural down the country, and he was like, oh, I'm not and the first thing with what you do is never apologize, never say I'm not racist, I'm not far right. I don't give a shit what people think. But he's like, oh, I'm not far right around, but you know, you can't move 200 people in here, you know, like there's a playground over there, and there's be school kids, and you know, all this, you know, like he was doing all that, and he was saying that the people up in Leinster House, like, are they're asleep, you know, they haven't a clue what's going on. They should let someone else get in. But I'm saying now, they're very on the ball. The reason why they're here is because they're getting bloody fucking money for it. That's why they're bloody, you know, they're here. Themselves, you know, that's the missing piece of the puzzle for them. Is that, like, the doll is not asleep, you know what I mean? They know what they're doing, because and I imagine that's EU money that's paying for all this, put them up in hotels and that.
Well, Fianna Fáil, you can imagine Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael in cahoots with property developers and all sorts of scams going with this, you know, security as well, and you know, what else would they be going with? Lawyers love it, because none of them can speak English when it comes to the court. So they all need translation services as well, don't they? I mean, it's money left, right and centre, you know. And the civil service, it's keeping the civil service going, isn't it? I mean, they love it. This is
it, you know, and it's mad now. And I assume that they've been doing it for, like, you know, a long time now. But you know the way, like, people have, like, copped on that these people aren't coming from war-torn areas. Well, I mean, all they need to say is that they're gay, and then if I go back, I'll be thrown off a roof, or I'll be hanged or something, and then they get in.
That'll be us in the future. We'll be going to somewhere. I'm not gay. Help me. They've made it illegal in Ireland.
You see that whole alphabet community? They actually, they cannot believe it. But I mean, they go on to think that if you know, some far right party, you know, took over government, that we'd be put into concentration camps, you know. They give themselves the same status of, you know, the unmentionables.
Yeah.
We'd be thrown into camps.
I just have to say, like, because, you know, like, people might call me a hypocrite and everything, like, because I've traveled the world and I've lived in many countries abroad, and I have my own personal circumstances as well. But the way I see it, I'm a libertarian now, so I just feel like if you come to a country and you work hard and you pay your taxes, that's fine. But like, if you were born in the middle of Africa, in Sudan, for example, and you really woke up one morning and you said, you know, I'd love to visit Ireland. It's a country I'm really interested in. And, you know, if they made the conscious decision to come to Ireland, they had a desire and maybe they want to come and contribute to the country, that's fine. But for me, it doesn't work like that. You have some NGO picking them up and just dropping them in Drumshambo or Bundoran or somewhere in the back of beyond, and give them a free house, give them money. How is that productive to a society? It's not. I mean, that's the problem I have, you know. Of course, you could argue with cheap labour and something, but, you know, there has to be checks and balances as well with labour, like they have in Australia, for example. They need a points-based system. But it's not that I'm against immigration per se. It's just when it's gone crazy like it is at the moment, you know. Sorry.
Yeah, like I hear what you're saying, but I mean, I do think like I describe myself as an ethno nationalist, like, you know, like I'd be, you know, very much of the opinion of, like, you know, well, you know, listen, Ireland, you know, take it back to the 90s when it was 97%, you know what I mean, like Irish. If you're gonna have immigration, okay, right? But there has to be a number on it. Like, see the way, like, it's after getting crazy now. Like as you said, like ever since 2015, and I know that it goes back since 1997 with when the anchor babies came over. But when Merkel opened the gates in 2015, that's when it all went crazy, like, you know, within the space of a few years.
I think some countries do have a limit. I think Switzerland has a limit, and I think Denmark is introducing limits now. So it's not a crazy idea.
Well, yeah, one thing that I do always hate as well, because of the volume of people coming in. People say, oh, you know, some part, oh, we want controlled migration, yeah. So as long as you tick all the boxes, yeah, like, you know, the thousands and thousands can still pour in, like, you know. We want an Australian point system. Yeah, they've a point system. I don't know. I think it's a 5 or something you have to pass, something like that. But, like, you know, as I said, it all comes back to numbers, you know what I mean? It comes back to the volume of people coming in. If you're going to have thousands upon thousands, you're going to destroy the country. Like, if tourists, like, say, like, you know, tourists come over to Ireland, they want to see Irish people, and they want to see, you know, the lovely land, the lovely, you know, you know, the people, the culture, you know, like, they don't, well, apart from, what's the town, Temple Bar, the most expensive place, but, like, say down rural Ireland, they'd have that every night of the week. I imagine people playing, you know, the banjo, and people playing, you know, like, all that, like, so, like, they want to see that, you know, they want to, like, you know, get a taste of that culture. But if you have, like, African culture there, or Middle Eastern culture, it's like, you know, everywhere is the same then, like, you know. Like,
I mean, it's like, if I travel, like, I've been to South Korea and places, you know, you want to see, you don't want everywhere to be the same, you know, everywhere, like London or Dublin or Paris, the inner city Paris, you know. But
I'm sure that when you went over to South Korea, you wanted to see South Koreans and their culture, didn't you? No,
I don't know what I wanted. I don't know what I wanted.
Well, you're probably looking for a nice hot Korean way.
But I guess the thing is that you can't have this conversation without, you know, being called all sorts of names. And we're just having an adult conversation. Like, we probably have difference of opinions on certain things, but that's okay, you know. But with someone on the left, they just go, they just shout it down immediately. I wonder why. I think maybe it's maybe it's a reflection of their true opinions, because I feel that working class people are the most welcoming people. That's my opinion. I think if you go into, like I'm working class, you're working class, and I know if I was in certain parts of Dublin, it'd be fine. Like, if people just get on with it. But if you look at the lefties, they all live in secluded areas. As we said before, do they really know? Do they really mingle with these other people? Do they travel to these countries? Do they really understand them? No, they don't. So, is it a reflection? They don't want to talk about these issues because maybe it's something that maybe they're suppressing.
Yeah, like, as I said, I know, like, I do hate the whole left-right, you know, paradigm thing, but because, like, me, like, you know, I'll look at something, you know, like say, like, you know, like, I'm, like, straight as a pill queue. I'll go down that pill queue, like, and I'll look at the left and the right, and then I'll see. And then I'll make my own mind up about what's going on, you know. Because I hate this, like, you know, you have to be on the left, you have to be on the right, you know, because, I mean, it's two wings of the same board, it is. It's like, it's bullshit, it is, you know. So, like, but as you were saying about, like, and I suppose it's a way of describing it, because they always call us, you know, far right, whatever. But these, like, lefty types, like, they live in their big gated communities, like, and I doubt that Tyrone comes over on a Saturday night and, like, you know, watches a bit of Netflix with them, you know.
Well, maybe he does to pour them the wine and the champagne, maybe.
Oh yeah, he'd be the servant or the fucking butler.
Yeah, the butler. Yeah.
And then the doorbell knocks, and he's like, "What you want, motherfucker?"
Services the wife, maybe. Services the wife. Didn't someone say that to your fella? What is his name? That fucking Egypt, Barry. Yeah. Does someone service does an immigrant service your wife when you're asleep as well? You know?
But I mean, yeah, Elon Musk, like he's the free speech hero now, isn't he? But why did he call it X? Like, I mean, like that's real, like, inventive, isn't it? It kind of reminds me of like, well, you're X6 and I'm X13,
Well, it could have been just
It's like you're just a number, like,
Yeah, well, that's true. Like that, wasn't that a TV show back in the day, wasn't it?
Prisoner, yeah, and
Yeah.
your man goes, I am not a number, I am a free man. Actually, one of my DJs says that sample was actually taken from one of the videos. I think it's the first DJ video that I put up. But yeah, that's what he says. I'm not a number, I'm a free man, and then I'm a free man. Yeah, so that's But like X sounds like X1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Like, it sounds like you're just another number on there, and that's it.
Yeah, well, I'm still, to talk about free speech, I'm still fucking banned from X. Like, I don't know what the fuck,
Yeah.
I think it's because I called a few people retards, and maybe that's you're not allowed to say that, are you?
Oh, sure. There's a you probably know, but there's a crazy red-headed woman from Cork, and she actually done a video one day, and she actually said, "Oh, do you know what this person said? He said a banned word. He said retard.
Oh,
that's
for
been
fuck's sake.
banned." And I'm thinking, well, I missed the memo on that when that was banned. Like, is it really?
Well, talking about the media, I hope you're okay with time, are you? I know we're.
Yeah, grand. Yeah.
All right, yeah. I mean, this will be heavily edited. it'll probably be a 5-minute segment. It'll be a 5-minute segment on the news tomorrow.
Yeah.
Our two arrested in early morning dawn raids.
And all these charges, Look at all the cocaine found. Look at these batches of heroin.
and what notified it was the word retard. It came up on YouTube.
You were stamping the word retard into that bar's ass.
and hundreds of hours of fucking ladyboy sex. Oh yeah. Okay. Ah, sure, Jesus. Yeah, the media. So, like, I mean, RT is a joke, isn't it? Like, it's like the thing I find with RT. It's like it's all these rich cunts, and they have their mates. They have all their best mates on the TV and the radio, just around for a chat. Come around for a chat, and we'll air it to the nation. Bore the arse off everybody. It's like we have to endure the shite. Listen to them talk to their friends. That's what RT is basically.
Yeah, and if you ever notice, like, the people in the crowd, they're all, as I said, like things that middle to upper class people. There's never any working class people like that in that crowd.
Well, they'd probably tell them to fuck off, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they'd be like listening to your voice at the door. You'd have to put on a Ponzi voice to get in. Like,
yeah.
I'm just here with my wife and my brother. We were here to. You'd have to talk a bit like Boris Johnson, maybe.
But did you see, like, after the attack in Dublin, they had like some really weird people that they were interviewing. Did you see that they had a Filipino nurse? Did you see that one? On one of the TV stations that was apparently one of the first people on the scene of the attack. You didn't see that?
No.
Oh, it looked dead weird. I mean, he had all the hallmarks of lying. Looking down a lot. It looked like someone was told what to say, and they were apparently first on the scene. But I mean, we've seen a lot of pictures, and I just seen the ambulance crew. I didn't see any Filipino nurse on the scene. But he was saying, like, he had to give the CPR. But you wouldn't do that if it was a knife attack, would you? I mean, I don't know.
There was a man that was holding a knife running across the road. So I said, oh my God, where will I go now? small little children, boys and girls. I can see on their faces that they were like terrified and scared. And then I didn't know what was going on, but I'm sure they were helpless. They were feeling helpless. All the time when I was doing the CPR there, I was just like thinking repeatedly, please give me a reaction. People are so angry because of people immigrating in Ireland, and because of one single act, some people generalize everything. I know I'm from a different country. So it's just a matter of understanding each other and just trying to
I
to
think
help each
that
other.
like you try and put a tourniquet. Well, if it's in the neck, I suppose it's up. But you'd certainly put your hand on like a bit of I don't know.
Yeah, and if you were coming along that scene, the last thing you'd be thinking about was I'll go on TV and tell my story and I'll have a big smile on my face. You know what I mean? You'd be wrecked.
Yeah.
You'd be mentally wrecked. I don't know. I would. I think you wouldn't be able to recover. You wouldn't be able to compose yourself if you came to a scene like that. I mean, I don't know.
I know, yeah, because like I mean, it was probably only a couple of days after or something like that. Like if it was a few weeks or something, like you'd be thinking, all right, this chap's after having a bit of a, he's probably shook up himself, like so.
Yeah.
He's probably calmed down now or something. But like, did you put these people just straight up and then like I was there and smiling and stuff and gee, that's mad.
And they didn't well, I don't know what the whole story of the attack is. Just I don't know. It's like who knows the real story? Who knows? I don't know. But we're never going to find out the truth, and not with the media we have anyway. I was going with the media, like I was looking like with Virgin Media. They have the Virgin Media thing? They have a podcast show on the YouTube station, and I'm looking at the numbers they're getting. It's like 250 views per episode on YouTube, like and that's after a few months. And these are this is the mainstream media that's pushing stuff, and you'll have writers on RT that write articles on their website, and they'll have like 100 followers or something. I mean, it's just a joke. It's dying on its arse, the mainstream media. So do you follow anybody in particular, apart from, we both follow Betwixt, of course, but is there anybody else you follow that's pretty good?
I think names that come to mind. I think we like probably all follow, the people that like would put up videos and that. Anyone that's like basically because like if you remember, like going back a few years, like I mean, like loads of people were taking footage, but you weren't uploading it. But now they're starting to upload it, and it's getting out there, like, and
there's loads.
Like,
yeah. Like when you were around first, or probably, I mean, I was around as well, and there was only a handful of people. You had Critiqued, and you had Gran Torino, and you had Don, and you had Garrod Murphy, and you had the Irish Megaphone. But now there's loads of people.
Yeah. So many people.
Yeah, like it's like I like the guy Mick O'Keefe. What's his name? Michael O'Keefe. I think he's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
What's his name? Michael O'Keefe, is it?
Yeah. Chopper, I think he goes with as well.
Okay, but you're still keeping up with your YouTube channel. You're going to continue with it, yeah? Or
well, I mean, like I haven't gone out to rallies, like recently around. But I'd kind of try and make the odd funny video sometimes, because it does be so fucking depressing. It's like do something, but like I still put out something,
It's for your own. It's for your own amusement as well. Like, I mean, I don't. You've more followers than me, you bastard.
But I think that but if you notice though that the people that like it and then the people that comment, it doesn't actually match the kind of like subscribers that you would have. So I think it's probably a lot of dead accounts or something, just just following you or something like that.
I've about 700 sock accounts following me.
Yeah. yeah. It'd be something like that, like,
It's
you
a
know.
full-time job. It's a full-time job following myself.
Oh, but I tell you, it's first expensive renting out a YouTube channel as well, you know. So
Well, I noticed when I first used to do a video, I used to get 100 straight off the bat. There'd be 100. Now I can't fucking get 10 or 20. It's like a joke. It's like they obviously they must have some kind of algorithm that you're a naughty boy, so they'll just, you know, they put you down right at the bottom.
yeah, like you know, it's like mad, like, you know, like I do wonder, is it YouTube doing that themselves, like they're just keeping you down, or
Yeah.
is it, you know, is it reality? Is it just
No.
people aren't subscribing to you?
No, I
You
think
know,
it's because the logic would dictate that you would slowly get bigger and bigger. Just like you can't, because it's just you keep if your followers get bigger, then surely your numbers should get more. But like I had a great example. I did a video, just a simple short video of pulling a pint of Guinness for St. Paddy's Day, and it got 1,000 in one day, which was good. And then the other days of the year, it got 100. I mean, that doesn't make sense. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, what's that about? And it's stuck on 1,100. Like, so it got 1,000 on the first day, and then nothing after that. But that it would logic would say it would just slowly increase all the time, but not just a drop off immediately. So I don't know, maybe they have some kind of system, but that's my excuse. It's not my content.
As well as that, it's probably what you know, when if you're giving it a title, if you give it a certain words, like, you know, then straight away, then boom, you know, that's
boom,
it. You know, the
retard.
you know, yeah, it's like shadow band, and you know.
I think I probably use retard in every conversation I have, maybe.
You used to always use that years ago, retard. I used to always say handicapped, and like, I mean, like they weren't like normal words to say.
I'm losing viewers. I'm losing viewers every time we talk. We start off with 2,000 and we end up with like 5, because it's like the reverse. It's like the reverse of YouTube. We start off with a lot, and every time we talk, we lose numbers. You know? Oh Jesus! But that's a good point, because that brings me on to my next point. It's like words have power, you know. I heard Claire de Shed Byrne using the word gaslighting on RT the other day, and I was like shocked, because that's kind of a far right word, isn't it? Gaslighting. And then you seen Vivek, you know, that guy Vivek Ramaswamy. He's going for the American Republican Party, and he used the word "the Great Replacement" live on American TV. So it's interesting, like, you know, the power of words, that slowly they'll start using our terminology.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not really like the great replacement, like that. That's not really our terminology.
Yeah,
That's
true.
just what's going on.
Yeah.
But I have heard, like, you know, people on TV, and you know, like, you see them at a press conference and they mention something like that. But then, like, when they're questioning it again, oh no, that's just a conspiracy theory, you know, that people are pushing, you know. And it's like, no, it's not. Sure, there was. What was on? There was something on there the other day, and it was only like, I think it was a murder mystery thing. But the chap in it goes, "Oh, this is the new world order," and this is back in the 90s, like, you know.
Yeah.
So they've been doing it for years. They have, you know, inserting these words, you know, the TV stuff, like.
Yeah, that's a good point. So yeah, but I mean, like, the words, like people can question words, like when like for good or for bad. People can say gaslighting. What's gaslighting? What's the Great Replacement? What's the New World Order? I mean, I certainly, when I first heard the New World Order, I was like curious. You know, what's that? When I first listened to it back in the day, it was in George Bush Senior.
I think he used it back in 1991. I think, yeah.
But because we have to listen to their buzzwords. It's about time that they started listening to some of our buzzwords, I suppose. But I got a list of new words I heard the last week or so. So there's they're always inventing new words, like neurodivergent. divergent. International disability as opposed to a local disability. I don't know what's an international disability. A sustainability influencer, and one of the green guys in government, he's the minister for the circle economy. What's the circle economy?
Minister for the circle economy.
I mean, it's just a lot of shite, isn't it? To make up all these
Is he
words.
going to dig a bloody hole or something and then throw a lot of people in, and there you go.
If you control the words, you can control the narrative, can't you? Like, if you make up the words, you can control people, really, if you keep pushing it, I guess, you know.
Well, this is it. Well, that's what they were able to do with the riots, right? They like mentioned at the start about the stabbings, but then it went into a big diatribe about the riots then. And that's all that, like, you know, people, and then, like, you know, they put it in the papers and all that, and it was front page, you know, all the fires and all. And it's like, but wait, how long, like, what happened before that? Why did that? Like, there had to have been a reason why that happened, like, you know, like, it didn't just, you know, they didn't just pull that out of their arse and say, right, we're all going to go into town and we're all going to do this, like, you know, like, there was a reason, you know, but people that, as you know, some people care more about chunks of metal than they do about life, you know, and especially life of little kids, like little babies and kids, like, you know what I mean? It really is disgraceful, you know.
A burnt bus is more important than a kid, yeah. I was thinking of a drinking game you could play with all the family for Christmas time, you know. I mean, you could look at the 9 o'clock news, and every time you hear the words far right or climate change, you could take a shot of vodka or something. You'd be well pissed after the end of it, wouldn't you? In half an hour, the far right.
Oh, do you know, I wouldn't even last 5 minutes. I'll be gone, you know, and there'll be just an empty bottle of vodka in my hand.
Yeah, or misogyny. Misogyny is another word that they like to use. It's like I don't use their words. I don't use any of these terms that they use, you know. It's, what did they used to call it? Chauvinism, isn't it?
Yeah, male chauvinism. Like, if you were the sort of bloke that went around slapping a board on the arse in the job or something, oh, you were a chauvinist.
Creep. Dirty old man. So I'll just finish up with two more, if that's okay. Yeah. I'll finish. Yeah. So Conor McGregor, what do you make of all that? What do you make of Conor?
To be quite honest, I think it's all a shite show with this. He's going for the presidential thing. I'm like, you know, like, I know he was like he was writing tweets. Now I don't follow him on Twitter, but I seen tweets that he was putting out, and you know, he was talking about Ashley Murphy and all that and that. But I heard though that he deleted some tweets, you know, like, and that's obviously someone telling him, listen, you're going to have to get in line, boy, you know what I mean? But as I said, this whole running for president thing, you know, no, it's a shite show. It's just another, you know, like, people will probably have, like, you know, oh, he's going to do things for us. But sure, the president doesn't really do much in anyway, but they probably think, you know, especially the younger crowd, they probably think that, oh, you know, he's going to, you know, win it for us and all that. But he's not. It's just, you know, it's just another distraction. It's another, you know, it's another shit show. That's it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think you're probably on the ball there. He has, I mean, what he said is pretty on the ball, but you don't know his motivation or why he's doing it. I mean, you could argue that because he has a new kid, and he has a few kids that, and he, you know, he's from that part of Dublin, really, isn't he? So maybe that he has a feeling there, you know. I mean, you know, when you have kids, it kind of changes you. You know, you wise up a bit quick, you know. So yeah, but even I don't even know if it's possible, because if you want to be a president, even to get on the ticket, you need 20 TDs or 4 city or county councils, and I don't even think he could get that, because remember, Gemma Doherty tried to get that and she couldn't get on the ticket, so it might not even be possible unless he storms the Dáil with his foot army, maybe, I don't know, foot soldiers.
If he does his Vince McMahon walk into the door and says, "Yeah, look you for car now. I'm gonna tell you now. This is the way it's going now."
Just the last thing. A lot of people have been making the comments like they're not looking well. I mean, I wonder, is it the vax kicking in? But have you seen? There's a video going around of him and Ryan, and he looks off his head like he looks like he's on the sniff, you know. And Helen McAtee is aged and crooked, you know, and the gay Indian Micheál Martin he's turning into a rat face, and Simon Harris, his hair is turned, you know, as white as can be. I mean, they're all looking terrible. They don't look well. I mean, maybe it's a bad batch of the sniff, but I don't know. What do you think?
I'd say it's two things. I'd say it's stress, and I'd say it's a lot of hardcore drugs that are taken. That's not, and I'm being honest now saying that, because like if you look at, say, do you remember when Obama won the presidency over in the States? Like he went in there with a lovely black afro, and he came out as white as a mule. He was like a snowflake, his head was. So like that was only 8 years. So I mean,
Yeah.
you know, as I said, yeah, stress, and then like obviously they're taking like very heavy, you know, prescribed drugs. I'd say that'd be my, you know, theory with that now.
Yeah, I mean it's probably both. Yeah, I mean you can imagine to keep them on. I mean, keep them on the straight and narrow without cracking up. You know, I mean it's hard work suppressing the truth and lying through your teeth all day. I mean it wouldn't be good for your body for a start. You know.
No, like as you even said, like lying, like you're lying all day, every day, and then you know deep down that, you know, you're letting your own Irish people down, and you know you're taking money. You know what I mean? Like you can put up 200, like I think we said about 200,000 people came last year. You can put them up in hotels, but you can't take care of whatever the 15,000 or so Irish people on the street. You know, it's not about money. You know what I mean? Like, come on out with that. But so they would obviously need some very serious drugs now, you know, especially to sleep at night and that, you know, probably what's that they give you before they put you propofol or something, or, you know, that was the stuff Michael Jackson was on, I think.
So how do you think it'll all pan out then? I mean, I have to be honest. I'm pretty positive about the outlook. I'm not worried. I think it's like the vax. You just observe and stay back and let it all play out, and it'll come good in the end. That's what I think. I mean, the money is going to run out of the economy, and then I think a lot of them won't stick around when there's no money coming in. That's what I think.
Yeah, but like what a lot of people, like, I mean, unless like a proper nationalist, you know, party got into government, you know, we need mass deportations big time. And I mean, I guarantee that people that even volunteer for it, they wouldn't even want to be bloody paid. They drive the person to the airport and you say, right, we're going to watch you getting on that plane, we're going to watch you going off.
Yeah, but I think that a lot of them would leave, though. I would think you'd get a lot to leave if you just cut the money. Because, like, who wants to live in the back of Beyond and Leitrim or Mayo in the pissing rain in the winter if you don't have a free house and you don't have free money? There's nothing to keep you there. I know Pakistan and India are shitholes, but I mean, have you seen the west of Ireland when it's pissing rain? Like, you know, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I know, but I mean, if they're getting like if you stop the hotels, stop the B&Bs, stop them giving them bloody houses and all that, and then, you know, money for cars and all that, like, yeah, they soon, you know, go elsewhere. If it was me, I'd, you know, call them in, one by one, and I'd rip up all their fucking passports, and I tell you, to be gone within a couple of weeks, and I tell you
Yeah.
that'd be the way it'd need to be done. But as I said, that's not going to happen, though. It's like they're here, and diversity is our biggest strength. So you better get used to it,
But they have been talking about deportations in Sweden, Denmark, and Germany recently. That has been started. That's again with the words. They've started to talk about the word deportation in those 3 countries. So obviously, it's going to be.
Yeah, but is there elections coming up? Because they've been doing the same here as well, talking about we're going to put a cap on it and all that with the migration.
Yeah, but we're running out of money.
Well, the IMF has plenty of money. You know what I mean? They just keep on rolling it out on the machine,
This new, is there something coming out of China? There's a new COVID part 2, is there? Attacking, it's the children this time.
Yeah, but I think that people have copped onto that, and they just most people just know that it was a load of bollocks now,
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
This type of thing, it's always bad news. It's always horrible, down in the dumps kind of thing, or are you in debt or something, or this type of shit, and this is what keeps people depressed.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive about everything because, I don't know. I mean, I think, as you said, if it's depression and fear constantly, it's no good. It doesn't do you well. It's better to have a positive outlook. I don't know. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But what will happen though, because without mass deportations, is that there's going to be ghettos formed, and then there's going to be the whites, there's going to be the ones that can afford it. It'd be white-fly,
I live in the boglands, so I'm fine.
Yeah. Yeah, well, but it'll be people like bloody me that has to live fucking beside them, So I have to go out every day and wonder, am I going to get a knife in the neck or what?
Yeah, I know.
So I think that it'll be something like Britain or Sweden. You're living amongst them, and then you're gonna have to rely on your own ethnic group to try and help you. But the thing is, though,
escape from New York.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, see, the way we're talking and we're far away from each other. This is the thing, and anyone that I talk to, they're always spread out and they're far away. It's not like I could go around the corner now and I could have the same conversation with someone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. So that's pretty much it, Irish Fenian. I really appreciate you giving me your time. You've been very generous. So I'll cut that up and I'll edit it and I'll see. And every time I use the word retard, I'll have to bleep that out. Maybe
take a drink. Take a drink every time you hear the word retard. Yeah. Okay. So how long were we talking there for? Actually,
an hour and 40.
Jesus, man, you got this.
I need a refill, so that's why.
I think that's probably the longest one.
Yeah, but it won't be a full hour 40. It'll be probably 5 minutes. It'd be just every time you use the word far right, it'd be on loudspeaker, far right. And then you could hear the wee 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 wee.
That's it, yeah. The old bit of the view and the view fucking banging in your door, boom 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 up the stairs, and the view with their MP5s.